When a person begins to awaken, truly awaken, something extraordinary happens. A quiet transformation unfolds inside them, a shift so powerful, so subtle, and so irreversible that the world around them senses it before they fully understand it themselves. You feel it in your spine, in the way you breathe, in the strange calm that follows you like a shadow. And yet, you can't explain it to anyone. You're not supposed to. Because the moment you start to rise, the moment you begin seeing what others refuse to see, you cross an invisible threshold. You stop living like everyone else, and you start becoming something rare, something the world doesn't know how to categorize, control, or diminish. After listening to this video, you will understand exactly why your energy has been shifting, why people react to you the way they do, and why your silence has begun to speak louder than your words. You'll understand the 7 unmistakable signs that you are becoming spiritually sharp, mentally unshakable, and emotionally untouchable. Signs that reveal you're no longer living as the person you once were, but as the person you were meant to become. This is not motivation. This is not comfort. This is awakening, and awakening is not soft. It is the moment you stop negotiating with your old self and step into the version of you that terrifies weak minds and attracts strong ones. So, let's begin. Sign 1. You've started protecting your inner world with unbreakable boundaries. The first sign is simple but powerful. You've stopped giving unlimited access to people who bring limited value. There was a time when you would explain yourself, overthink your decisions, and apologize for having needs. But now, you don't bother, you don't chase, you don't over-justify. You simply withdraw. You pull your energy back like a tide returning to the ocean. People who once manipulated you with guilt or obligation feel confused. They don't understand why their old strategies no longer work. They don't realize that you no longer live to keep the peace. You live to keep your power. Your no has become firm. Your yes has become intentional. Your silence has become a shield. And every boundary you build restructures your destiny. This is your first sign. You're not becoming cold. You're becoming clear. Sign 2. You're losing interest in shallow interactions. Something changed in you. Small talk feels like static. Surface-level conversations drain you. Empty entertainment bores you. You crave depth now. Depth in people, depth in thought, depth in purpose. You crave authenticity, not noise. And when you realize that most of the world survives on distraction rather than awareness, you start drifting away from the herd. Your solitude is no longer loneliness. It is nourishment. It is recalibration. It is the space where your real self returns. This is the second sign. Your spirit has outgrown superficiality. Your mind can't go back to sleep. Sign 3. You've become fiercely independent, even if you didn't intend to. Awakening has a strange side effect. You begin relying on yourself, not out of mistrust, but out of evolution. You don't wait for people to validate your choices. You don't need applause to move forward. You don't require a support system to take the next step. You've learned to walk alone, not because you prefer isolation, but because you finally understand that the path meant for you will always be walked by you first. Your independence isn't a defense mechanism. It's a consequence of growth. This is the third sign. You're becoming someone who doesn't need the world, but someone the world begins to need. Sign 4. You're seeing through people with an almost uncomfortable clarity. This is where awakening becomes dangerous. You've started noticing the subtext behind words, the energy behind actions, the intentions behind behaviors. Nothing stays hidden from you anymore. You sense dishonesty before it is spoken. You detect insecurity behind confidence. You recognize manipulation in its earliest stages. People around you can feel it. They don't know why, but they act differently around you. They become careful with their words, hesitant with their lies, and slightly uneasy in your presence, because they can sense that you see too much. This is the fourth sign. Your perception has sharpened to the point where illusions no longer hold power over you. Sign 5. You no longer seek revenge, you seek distance. This is a sign of true inner strength. You've stopped wasting your energy proving people wrong, correcting their opinions, or teaching them how they should have treated you. Instead, you do something far more powerful. You simply walk away. Not silently angry, not bitter, just done. Because you've realized that revenge is a transaction, distance is a transformation. And when you pull your energy away from someone, they lose access to a version of you they will never experience again. This is the fifth sign. You don't punish people, you outgrow them. Sign 6. You're comfortable being misunderstood. This is the sign of a person who has stepped into their higher intellect. Most people are afraid of being judged. You're no longer afraid. You've accepted it. You're comfortable being the misunderstood one, the quiet one, the unpredictable one, the one who doesn't fit into their expectations. Why? Because you've realized something liberating. People understand only from the level of awareness they've reached, and most people are not ready to understand you. This is the sixth sign. Misunderstanding doesn't weaken you, it frees you. Sign 7. You've developed an energy that intimidates the unhealed. This is the sign that seals everything. Your presence alone is different now. You carry a calm intensity, a quiet confidence, a grounded stillness that people can't quite explain. Some will be drawn to you, others will feel threatened, but everyone will notice you. Because you no longer negotiate your worth. You no longer shrink your presence. You no longer absorb other people's chaos. You've become emotionally self-regulated, spiritually aware, and mentally disciplined. And that combination is rare. It is powerful. It is dangerous. Not dangerous in a violent way. Dangerous in the sense that you cannot be controlled, manipulated, or influenced by anything that lacks truth. Your energy exposes people's unresolved emotions. That's why they react. It's not you, it's their reflection in you. This is the seventh sign. Your awakening is complete. Your ascension has begun. Now that you understand the 7 signs, we need to go deeper. Because awakening is not the end, it is the beginning. When your mind rises, when your spirit sharpens, when your awareness expands, you enter a new phase of life. A phase where you begin reshaping everything around you. Your relationships, your decisions, your habits, your beliefs, your entire identity. Awakening is not a moment. It is a reconfiguration. And once it starts, nothing stays the same. So let's continue our journey by exploring how these 7 signs transform you, how they change your destiny, and how they create a version of you that becomes truly unstoppable. The shift from reaction to observation. One of the first changes you'll notice after awakening is this. You stop reacting and you start observing. The world still challenges you. People still test you. Life still throws storms at your door. But something inside you refuses to collapse the way it once did. Instead, you step back mentally and you watch. You observe your thoughts without becoming them. You notice your emotions without drowning in them. You recognize your impulses without being controlled by them. This is mastery. Quiet mastery. Invisible mastery. Most people live as prisoners of their reactions. You live as the observer behind them. And the moment you stop reacting impulsively, the world loses its power to destabilize you. Your calm becomes your weapon. Your awareness becomes your armor. Your stillness becomes your strategy. This is how you become untouchable. Your new relationship with solitude. Something profound happens when you start to awaken. You stop being afraid of being alone.
In fact, solitude becomes your sanctuary, your recalibration chamber, your inner training ground. People who run from solitude fear themselves. People who embrace solitude evolve themselves. And your solitude is no longer empty. It's full of thought, clarity, creativity, healing, and recalibration. You begin having conversations with your soul. You begin understanding the patterns that shaped you. You begin hearing the truth beneath the noise. And soon you realize something powerful. You're never alone when you are aligned with yourself. Your solitude becomes your strength. Your silence becomes your wisdom. Where others feel abandoned, you feel awakened. This is the difference between loneliness and elevation. Releasing your past without bitterness. One of the most misunderstood parts of spiritual growth is this. You don't rise because your past disappears. You rise because your past loses its power over you. You stop replaying old conversations in your mind. You stop trying to rewrite moments that cannot change. You stop forcing closure from people who were never meant to understand you. Your past becomes information, not imprisonment. You no longer erase it. You no longer deny it. You simply extract the wisdom and leave the wound behind. This is the moment you stop being a victim of your story and start becoming the author of your transformation. Forgiveness becomes natural, not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace. You free yourself. You untie the knots. You walk forward lighter than ever. And this makes you unstoppable. Your intuition becomes razor sharp. Awakening amplifies intuition. You start sensing what to avoid, who to trust, what decision to make, which opportunities align with your spirit, which environments drain your energy. Your intuition becomes your internal GPS, quieter than logic, faster than analysis, more precise than experience. And the more you listen to it, the more accurate it becomes. You stop asking for signs because you become the sign. You stop waiting for clarity because you embody clarity. You stop doubting yourself because your inner voice never lies. This is what scares people. You're no longer predictable. You're guided. The transformation of your energy. Your energy begins changing before your actions do. People feel it. Animals feel it. Even strangers feel it. You carry a mixture of calmness and intensity, gentleness and certainty, compassion and power. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. And aligned people have a presence that words cannot explain. Your energy becomes selective. You stop pouring into bottomless cups. You stop giving your love, time, and support to those who only take. Your spirit becomes a gated garden, and access is earned, not assumed. This new energy attracts the right people, repels the wrong people, and elevates everyone in your orbit. You stop chasing, you start magnetizing. The dissolution of fear. The most striking change, the one that signals true ascension, is the quiet dissolving of fear. Not all at once, not dramatically, but slowly, calmly, silently. You stop fearing judgment. You stop fearing rejection. You stop fearing change. You stop fearing endings. You stop fearing failure. Because once you understand your own resilience, truly understand it, fear loses its authority over your life. You realize you've survived every dark moment, every heartbreak, every betrayal, every disappointment. Every time you thought you couldn't go on, but did. And that realization makes you fearless. Not reckless, not arrogant, just unshaken. This is the moment you become dangerous to the world's illusions. Why people treat you differently after awakening. Here is a truth most people never realize. When you awaken, you don't just change yourself. You change the dynamic of every room you walk into. Some people will feel safe around you. Others will feel exposed. Some will be inspired. Others will be triggered. And none of it has anything to do with you. It has everything to do with what your presence reflects back to them. You awaken their insecurities. You awaken their desires. You awaken the parts of themselves they've ignored. Your very existence becomes a mirror, and not everyone is ready to see their reflection. This is why people pull away. This is why some become quiet around you. This is why others grow defensive or reactive. It's not rejection, it's revelation. You reveal people to themselves, and that is a rare, powerful, and sacred gift. Your purpose begins to reveal itself. Awakening doesn't give you a purpose. It removes the noise that was hiding it. You start feeling drawn toward something, a calling, a direction, a whisper that becomes louder every day. You may not understand it yet, but you feel it. And that feeling is not random. It is alignment in motion. Your purpose begins revealing itself in the people you attract, the thoughts you repeat, the patterns you break, the skills you develop, the problems you are uniquely drawn to solve. Purpose is not found. Purpose is remembered. As you awaken, you stop asking, "What should I do?" and start asking, "What have I always known but ignored?" Your life becomes guided from the inside out. The final phase, becoming unstoppable. When all these layers merge, boundaries, intuition, independence, clarity, fearlessness, energy, depth, something extraordinary happens. You become unstoppable. Not because you overpower others, but because you refuse to betray yourself. Not because you avoid darkness, but because you understand it. Not because life becomes easy, but because you become strong. Unstoppable people are not the loudest. They are often the quiet ones, the observant ones, the ones who walk with intention, not noise. You become unstoppable the moment you stop seeking permission to be who you already are. And now, after hearing these words, you know exactly why your life has been shifting, why your spirit feels different, why your mind has sharpened, why you feel disconnected from your old world and drawn towards something higher. You are awakening. You are transcending. You are becoming the version of yourself that was always waiting beneath the noise. And nothing, not the past, not fear, not doubt, not the world, can stop what is happening inside you now. Your transformation has begun, and this time, you rise with purpose.